Hi, I'm Gabby Hill. I am a senior history politics major here at Fox. And I have always been really fascinated with the way that American history is communicated within educational settings, because for the most part, that's how American history is kept alive. We don't see typically past like cornerstone classes, which is this class. Beyond cornerstone classes, we don't see most Americans doing like deep dives into American history on their own. And so a lot of what we know as Americans about our own history is what is communicated in classes. And so I wanted to talk about option 2, which is what shocked, stuck out to you, disturbed you the most about chapter 4 of American Yop. And I wanted to kind of hone in on the Stono Rebellion, specifically because I remember learning about it in high school classes. I took a American history class my senior year of high school, and I remember there was like a week-long unit where we talked about the Stono Rebellion, and I remember it always being framed as like a fail. Like, it was not talked about a whole lot more than they tried and it just didn't end up working out for them, which I feel like to a degree is true. Like, surface level, if we look at what happened, we can see, okay, all of these slaves were captured and executed. That is the outcome of that rebellion. But from a historical standpoint and maybe an intellectual honesty standpoint, this isn't the entirety of what happened. And it was not only did it really stick with me how the South reacted legislatively, but it also stuck with me that I had only been given this like partial form of our history. And so we see white colonists for the first time in a real way feel the instability of slavery. And Ryan talks about that too, about most like people have a tendency to talk about this like it was a fail, and it's not. But we see, I'm in my car right now, that's why you hear the rain. We see legislature passed that really confines and locks down slaves in the South for the first time in a real way because of the actions of a rebellion. And so I think that while it wasn't successful from like a surface level standpoint, there was a message that was communicated, and it was heard and it was understood by white colonists in the South that slaves can act with autonomy. And to a degree, it almost communicates humanity of slaves. And to the degree that they were being, like, it communicates the degree to which they were being mistreated. And so I really sat with that for a while after going over this week's material. And I just kind of meditated on that. And I was questioning why it had only been spoken about to me in this one way when there was so much more impact on American history than was originally perceived. So